Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's go to the next topic we're going to talk about. We didn't get to talk about this. The Pelicans trade for DeJounte Murray. They gave up Dyson Daniels. I can't remember another player, and I should have looked up the trade beforehand. But the Pelicans get DeJounte Murray. So what are your thoughts of the trade that happened? I think it was last week.
I think it's great for the Pelicans. They didn't even have to give up all that much. Larry Nance was the other guy.
Yeah, that's
Larry
it. Okay.
Nance, Dyson Daniels, the Lakers' first round pick in 2025, and the Bucks or Pelicans 2027, the least favorable. So they didn't even get the best one. Like if the Bucks were bad that year and it was the top 3 pick, they wouldn't even get that. So for them, it makes perfect sense. Like they need on ball, a guard that can, set up the offense. And again, that's not a lot to give up for a guy on a good contract. That sure, there's some duplicity now with Ingram, but you can work that out. But if you can get a player of this caliber that can set up your team, that'll help with Zion, and your other young guys, Herb Jones, I think you got to make it regardless of if you if you think for that price. I think the Pelicans, took the Hawks behind the woodshed.
Okay, I like that. I do like it for the Pelicans. Getting a true kind of point guard back there. I mean, he's not going to be a floor spacer. Like, he's fine at 3. He's not like a floor spacer though, but he's really good with the ball in his hands. I think him and Zion will work well together. Ingram, like you said, it's kind of the same, but who knows? We know that they said they're not bringing Ingram back. Now they're like, well, maybe we are bringing him back. I still think he'll end up being traded, but we'll see what happens. But until then, I still think it's a really good trade. You talked about those 2 years, they still have a first round pick. Either they'll have the best pick of either theirs or the Bucks, or they're going to have, and then they just gave up the Lakers one. So I and then Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. are okay players, but they're replaceable players. So I do like the trade for the Pelicans. Like you said, I think you're right. I think they kind of won the trade. Now let's just talk about the Atlanta side. I don't mind it for Atlanta because the guard thing you had to give up on, and the way it sounded was there was more interest in Murray than there was in Trae Young. And I keep telling people this, if I'm going to build around Trae Young, I want long, athletic defenders all around him. Dyson Daniels, in theory, can be that. So that's nice that they added him. They still kept DeAndre Hunter. And Larry Nance Jr. is okay. Like, he's fine, but he's not like a great defender or anything, but he'll be fine. So you get the ball back in Trae's hands, and you just try to, if you're going to go this route, you just try to build a really great defensive team around him with 3-and-D guys, and you just let him work. And I think it looks like that's what they're going to try to do. And who they drafted, what's his name? Ricochet. Yeah. He's also supposed to be a long 6'10" athletic defender. So, and a 3-and-D guy. So at the very least. So, it seems like that's the route they're taking.
Yeah, they did have to move on. The 2-guard thing didn't work. I mean, they both looked better when the other one was either out, and Murray looked really good when Trae Young was out. So I think they're at the minor rebuild. Like, we got to take it down a notch to bring it back up. What's his name? There's Clint Capella. Like, this is his last year of his deal. So I don't know if he has any value, but I think they're going to make a few more moves, and maybe they got a 2025 Lakers pick. That could be a decent pick. You never, especially in the West, you never know. The Lakers probably at this rate aren't a home court, or even maybe they might be a play-in team again. So maybe you can get a mid-teens pick there. Maybe you can sell off some of these and your pick is kind of good, or get another 2025 first. So I see what they're doing. I don't know. I feel like the picks that they got, they must be high on Dyson Daniels. I mean, that that has to be it, to just take those 2 first-round picks. So, and they could probably send Larry Nance somewhere else if they don't want him. He's up there in age too. He's in his early 30s too. So it's an incomplete. I just felt like, man, you see what some of these guys go for, and you're like, that's what you got for DeJounte Murray when he was the one that people supposedly really wanted, which I guess maybe is more condemning of Trae Young's value again similar to Zach LaVine among teams that are good. Picturing Trae Young leading their team doesn't seem too advantageous for many teams.
Yeah, the only team that I thought that I like, the only team that I really like called Trae Young, I would be curious is the Spurs, just because you pair him with Victor and Sohan. They drafted Castle. That's pretty solid defensive back behind him. But Dyson Daniels averaged a steal and a half a game, like a half a block game. He's a defender. He shot 31% from 3, but he's only been in the league how many years? He's not super old. Let's see here. I have his stats right here, so I don't even know why I can't figure this out. Here we go. He's only been in the league for 2 years. So there's room for growth. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, but if you might be right, they might be a little higher on them than we are. But I think ultimately it came down to they had to choose between the guards, and that was the best they could do out of the 2 guards, I think is what happened. So we'll see if the retooling worked. But in the East, who knows? Like, they could probably be a play-in team at the very least, a 7-8 seed, depending on how they fill out their roster. They got trades, like you said, Capella, Bogdanovich. They could trade Hunter. They could trade. They might just blow it up. Who knows? So we'll see what happens the rest of the offseason. Okay. Anything else on the Pelican and Hawks trade?
I don't think so. I think we just have to see. I think the Pelicans have to make one more move with Ingram or CJ McCollum. They just have to figure out something. They need a center.
Correct. Yeah. Biggest winner of the trade?
The Pelicans.
Yeah. I would say biggest winner is the point guards is what I would say. Murray and Young. Biggest loser?
The Hawks, just that the Murray trade, they salvaged it a little, but they gave up a lot to get not a lot of result.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'm the biggest loser because I don't know if you remember this, but I had confidence that backcourt would be good, that Trae Young would work well, learn how to catch and shoot, play off of Murray. Murray's a good defender. I had this envision, and I went as far as saying that I like the pairing better than Garland and Mitchell. I did say that. So the biggest loser is me because I was 100% wrong about that. Although the pairing,
I forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder.
No, yeah, I got to call myself out. Like Garland and Mitchell aren't perfect either. Their pairing's a little rough, but mine got wrecked. It got wrecked. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that anymore. Ready to move on to the draft?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get. Maybe we can do this. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.